Hi guys, welcome to Options ABC. We're your hosts Mandeep and you got Amit here.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And today we're going to talk to you about different trading platforms and what we prefer, pros and cons of each platform.
And before we start, don't forget to smash that like button.
And subscribe. and so we're going to start off with the different platforms we're going to talk about: Robinhood, TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim, and Tastyworks platform. So we're going to first start off with Robinhood. So Robinhood, we feel, is one of the most easiest ways to enter into stock trading or options trading. It's very simple. You basically just download the app on your phone and just fill in a couple, your personal information. And their user interface is really user friendly, very basic, very nice, plain and simple. They have everything, written out, laid out nicely, right?
Yeah, it is actually a very simple user interface. It's probably the number one app for retail investors, I believe.
Yeah.
There are some limitations with it. It isn't as great as the UI is. It isn't made for advanced traders. Somebody who's looking for a competitive edge as far as trading.
Yep.
It's really an app-based. It's an app-based, mobile app-based application, but really the Robinhooders have really taken the market to a whole different level, and that's one of the reasons why we love Robinhood. It really gets the retail investor in, the one who wants to self-direct their own money, and it has really given a new life to the stock market. And the more people that are in it, the more money that's in it, the more liquid the market is. And we feel that the retail investor, it gives power to the retail investor and takes it away from the institutional investors and the financial advisors.
Right.
And I will talk about the cons of Robinhood.
Right. So like we said, there's limitations when it comes to advanced trading. We personally like to trade spreads, and when you do your vertical spread, Robinhood doesn't have that feature of rolling like the other platforms do. You have to actually manually close out your spread and open up a new one. You're not able to do it in one shot. So there's a little technicalities with those type of trades.
And what is rolling? So rolling is really taking a current contract and with the expiration date and moving either that contract forward or rolling up and down the strikes based on where the stock has moved on. The stock has moved up more than its expected range. If you're doing it in iron condor in this case, where you have a short, you have a upper strike and then you have a lower strike, and the stock price has to stay between that to receive full profit. What you want to do is you want that stock to stay in the middle. Stock price to stay in the middle between those two strikes. In this case, if something starts to breach, you would want to roll up your iron condor, the short strike if it breaches the long. So in this case, if for some reason the stock moves against you, you would want to roll that contract forward.
Right.
So rolling is a big feature that you don't get with Robinhood.
And another con that I've come across is your analysis of the trade. On other platforms, whenever you're in a trade, whether you have a call option, put option, a spread, you can see with the expiration date how much you'll be making on every day that goes by. But in Robinhood, they simply don't have that. It's you have to kind of mathematically work it out. So that's a big disadvantage, I feel.
Yeah, there's some disadvantages like that. The other thing is 0 days to expiration. That's another big con that we found with the Robinhood app. 0 days to expiration means that you cannot, when it comes to option trading, you cannot open up a same day expiration. So If you're trading SPY, SPX, which actually you can't trade SPX on, if I'm not mistaken, you can't trade SPX or NDX. So none of the index funds can be traded options wise on Robinhood. So that brings me back over to 0 days to expiration. So those index funds have 3-time expiration per week, and you can't trade during those days, which gives you a disadvantage in that you can't take advantage of doing a same day trade. If you think the underlying is gonna stay where it's at, you take every last penny. Now, 0 days to expiration is also a very risky trade.
Risky, yeah.
If it goes against you, you'll have to either roll it for a debit if you're doing a credit spread. Rolling for a debit means it's coming out of your pocket. So, always never a good idea to really do that trade unless you're really advanced and understand the risks that go into doing 0 days to expiration. What else cons that we have that you can think of with Robinhood?
We're gonna cut this part out.
Yeah. Let's move over to TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim app. Now, the Thinkorswim app has been around since the early 2000s. The Thinkorswim app is considered to be one of the original advanced trader applications.
Most complete.
It was built by Tom Sosnoff and Scott Sheridan, and it is really geared towards advanced stock traders and advanced options traders. It gives the retail investor a competitive edge. It's a very powerful tool, in my opinion. It's one of the best applications out there for stock trading and for option trading.
Yeah, I just want to quickly jump in. Sorry.
No worries.
What I like about TD Ameritrade is their customer service. They're always available on the phone if you have any questions, whether you're a beginner or advanced trader. They actually work with you with your trades, what you're in, what you want to achieve. So I find that very useful, when I started off. And that's one thing that Robinhood does not offer. They don't have any customer service.
Yeah.
So it's actually just through email, but if you have an emergency, you're not able to contact them. But whereas TD Ameritrade is always available, any issues you have, they're there to help you out. That's a big plus.
That is a huge plus. We forgot about the customer service support on that. So yeah, that is a huge thing for TD Ameritrade. Back to Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is, in my opinion, one of the most complete applications out there. Now, it doesn't come with drawbacks. It has a few drawbacks, and we can kind of talk about the pros and the cons of why we think Thinkorswim is one of the better applications and one of the better brokers out there. One thing for sure is it has low commissions. So 65 cents to open, 65 cents to close. Now, if you're dealing in credit, you can actually close for less than a nickel for free. So opening and closing the trade is actually for less than a nickel. And I feel like the fills are faster. Wouldn't you say the fills are pretty fast on?
Yes, Thinkorswim, they do have good fills, but a couple months ago, the whole Tesla run up, there was a few issues with the desktop application. It does sometimes run a little slow, but I feel like their mobile app, hands down, is awesome. I think no issues there.
Yeah, so the Thinkorswim mobile app, I think I use that more than the actual desktop app. Usually, I use the desktop app to really analyze trades, to understand my risk management on future trades. But after I'm adjusting trades, I'm doing it in the app. It just has a better feel, to it. I think
those feel no problems.
Yeah, and it runs really fast. Faster than on my computer. So I think that brings you to the drawbacks of Thinkorswim. So if you're running it on on a normal computer, it takes out a lot of power, a lot of juice to run that application. It's powerful for a reason, and it's going to take a lot of the power out of it. It's going to slow down your whole computer. In my opinion, I've had that issue. If you're using it for its advanced features. Now, if you're using it for simplified stuff, is not that slow. But for us, we have charts up, we have different tabs open, we have a lot of watch lists, and so it does slow down our computers quite a bit. And another con I would say with the Thinkorswim app is that
it could be the user interface could be a bit more. It could look a lot crowded, overwhelming.
Yeah. So that it is a little bit cumbersome. It's a lot of technical stuff. For somebody who's advanced, it's not a great application to start with. But if you're a beginner, it's not something you want to jump right into doing. Because there's so much power, there's so much things you can do. You can get all over the place with it. The other thing I would say that is a con on TD is they do have the highest interest rates for margin. So if you are buying stocks, because we're option traders, we don't look at interest as much because you're dealing mainly in cash. And then if you're going to be selling premium, you put up margin, not actual. You don't own the stock, so you don't pay any interest on that, which is I think something people don't really talk about is the low interest that you pay when you sell options. Another pro that I think that we kind of didn't talk about is portfolio margin. Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade has a portfolio margin relatively low. Now, portfolio margin isn't for everybody. You do need to have $125,000 just to be qualified for it. Plus, you have highest level of options available. So, meaning you could sell naked options, naked puts, naked calls. You do have to have a little bit more experience in doing that. So it isn't for everybody, but it gives you the power of leverage. So just to give you an example, when you are dealing in a regular margin account, you can only borrow 50% of the underlying. In this case, they give you actually 15%. Now it may change based on the markets. In high volatility times, Thinkorswim or TD Ameritrade will actually increase the margin requirement just to cover themselves. So don't think it's always 15%.
It depends on the stock underlying. Like Tesla's is relatively more. It's due to the risk of the market conditions and the volatility.
The volatility is the biggest thing, really. That drives the margin to go up. So, but if you're dealing in the Apples of the world or the anything in the FANG group, the Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, or Google, you're going to be at the 15% up and 15% down. Now, we've basically laid out all the pros and cons for Thinkorswim, why we think that's a great thing. Now we'll move on to Tastyworks.
Now,
Tastyworks is a really small community.
Yeah, I don't think many people have heard about them.
Yeah.
But the co-founder, Tom Sosnoff, he co-founded Thinkorswim. He actually founded Tastyworks, Tasty Train. So it's basically a spin-off of Thinkorswim, but we feel like they've polished up their user interface a bit more nicely. So it shows you nice data, like when you look at charts, like your profit zone is like green and your losses are highlighted in red, and the fills are pretty smooth as well. The
fills are actually, for option trading, I think is probably their technology, I think is better.
It's built predominantly for options trading.
It is an option trading platform. the pros are that it has a clean user interface for option trading, moving up and down strikes, rolling. You could roll up strikes, you can roll down strikes, you can roll out the contracts. So you can do a number of different things within the application. You can close for, as you know, the Tasty Trade way is manage winners at 50%. So you could actually set orders to manage at 50% winners and roll your losers. So that's kind of that application has really been really great. They do have customer support, phone support, which is huge. The educational section is, I think, in my opinion, far better than TD Ameritrade's and Robinhood's application. So that if you really want to get technical and advanced, Tastyworks has built that into their platform. As far as commissions go, it's $1 to open and $0 to close with a $10 cap. So if you're dealing if you're dealing with a lot of contracts, let's say you're selling 100 contracts, selling 100 puts, and it would cost you $10 it only costs you $10 to open it instead of $100 in this case if it was uncapped, $1 per contract. So $10 cap for what you're getting is really
open and close.
To open and close to $10.
Yeah, that's huge because then TD Ameritrade, you think about it, you open 100 contracts at $65, then you close 100 contracts and then $65.
That's right.
You've already paid $130 as commissions.
Yeah, and here you just pay just pay $10. Like that was mind blowing. Now keep in mind, Robinhood is free.
Robinhood's free.
Robinhood's free, but you don't get the same type of same power. So paying a little bit to make a lot is a big benefit for us Tasty Trade.
But I feel like Robinhood's fills are a lot slower. The bid and ask is quite a big difference.
It's not an efficient app for advanced option traders. Now somebody who doesn't look at that stuff is gonna be fine trading with Robinhood.
Right.
Some of the cons, in my opinion, it's not really made for stock traders. Their mobile application isn't as friendly as what their desktop version is. Their desktop version, I think, is really nice, nicely done. I think their mobile app is missing some key features. And keep in mind, the Tastyworks has only been in it for about 3 years or so. So it's fairly young. At the time of this recording, it's about three or 4 years old. So it's fairly new. They're gonna get new features as it keeps going. I think that's what makes Tasty Trade a very attractive brokerage. It's a small knit
community. But so with them being small, customer service, they do have it, but they're not as
they're not as TD.
They're not as TD. TD has hundreds of employees, so it's very easily reachable. Your TD is a little bit smaller, but so that's the only difference between the two. Other than that, they're pretty good.
And one of the things is also portfolio margin. They do have portfolio margin, but it has 175K. You need to have 150K to maintain. So if it goes below 150, you're kicked back into Regulation T, regular margin account. So just keep that in mind when opening a Tastyworks account. So
$50,000 difference.
A $50,000 difference, right? To do it. So that's basically it.
So thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like.
All right. Thank you very much.